Yo, what is up guys, it's your boy Clouds and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be doing a weapon tier list, and before we get into the video I just want to say I want to respectfully ask that you guys not be toxic in the comments down below. This is all just based off of my opinion and my experience. Some of the things I go on this tier list may be incorrect, and that's okay, but hopefully y'all boys enjoyed the video and let's get straight into it. Alright, so first off I just want to say that this is old footage running in the background, so don't mind that. I always do this with my tier lists. Also, another thing I always do with my tier list, starting off into the first tier, I bunch up the 1-sword style and 2-sword style swords. They're kind of just in their own bracket, own little tier. Now the reason I do this is because, as you guys know, the katanas, you can only use them, or they only have moves when you have 1-sword style or 2-sword style, and so it's not really applicable to other things. I mean, you could still use them without having those fighting styles, but there's no point because there's no moves, and then all you have is just a katana. So a lot of people get confused whenever I do this on my tier lists, but it just doesn't really make sense to compare them to the rest of the weapons when they're kind of in their own category. So yeah, I'm not saying 1-sword style, or 2-sword style swords are the worst in the game. I'm just saying it's kind of like uncomparable in a way. So yeah, that's wrapping up that tier. Coming up into the next tier, which is D tier. This one is like, there can't really be no debating with this one. Starting off with Jester Box. This is technically like a weapon, in my opinion. That's why I even put it on the list. But Jester Box, on paper it seems like it's better than it actually is. Like, it's a trap that stuns people. You can potentially combo stun off of it, until you realize like how it actually is. The wind up to actually even get the trap set up is pretty slow. Most of the time you're gonna get interrupted trying to do it. Not to mention, people will just run away from the trap of where you put the trap. So like, I haven't actually really seen much people make this useful or make it be good at all. So that's that. Burn Bazooka, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. All guns in this game kind of suck. Like, Burn Bazooka literally has so much wind up for reload, so you're gonna get punished just trying to reload it. It literally does like no damage, and it's so easy to avoid. Bells, I mean, this is kind of obvious. Bells don't really have any moves, just heals. Nothing really good for combos. The only thing I would say Bells is good for is like maybe in like a 2v2 or a team battle situation where you're trying to heal your teammates, maybe dungeons or something. But other than that, Bell's gotten its place that it deserves. And then the last two on D tier, we have obviously Bazooka and Shotgun. I feel like this, no argument there either. Guns really need a buff, bro. Guns really need to be more like stronger in Grand Peace Online. It'd be nice like being able to go around as like, ooh, so I have a gunfighting style or something. I don't know, man, just a dream. But yeah, that's wrapping up D tier. Coming straight into C tier. This one, the C tier is like a little different from my last weapon tier list, because I'm putting Gravity Blade here in C tier because I just feel like Gravity Blade doesn't really pair well with too many builds. And after the universal M1 damage nerf, I just feel like Gravity Blade has like less uses. The moves are not terrible, but it's just kind of situational for what you could use Gravity Blade with. So yeah, that's kind of where I placed it. Festival Shield, honestly, I think this is one of the most disappointing weapons in the game, Festival Shield, bro. Like, not that I was ever hyped for Festival Shield, because I never was hyped for it. I'm not really just a big shield guy, but actually getting it, it feels terrible. Like, the M1's damage scaling is not bad, actually. I fought against a guy that, obviously he probably had all his points of weapon or sword, but he was doing like 55 plus M1s with the shields. The M1 scaling is not bad, but the moves are terrible. So that's kind of why I placed it in C tier. Golden Pole's not bad. I could even probably easily put Golden Pole in B tier, but I just feel like it's mainly only really good with Mink fighting style. Like, if you don't have the Mink race, you're not gonna be able to do like most of the BS that you can do with Golden Pole. And so I feel like since it's so heavily reliant on that, and Golden Pole already is like kind of a little situational, it only really thrives in certain builds. So that's kind of like where I place it. Now, Golden Hook, I could also easily put Golden Hook in B tier, because it is good for some builds. But if you ask people like Drag and Suki, they'll say Golden Hook is like kind of bad. It's not like a terrible weapon, but it has like really low range, low M1 damage, low damage on most moves anyways. But it does have that cool feature where if you have like Suna, it'll switch the moves around. So I don't know, it's not a bad weapon. Like I said, with Golden Pole and Golden Hook, I could probably switch them in B tier. So I guess that was one hot take I made. But yeah, that's wrap it up. C tier. Let's get straight into B tier, boys. Coming into B tier, you guys can see I put Kiribachi there. Ever since the M1 damage buff, there's been like tons of Kiribachi builds, so this should come as no surprise. With the buff is just basically making it so where Kiribachi is like a lot more viable, in my opinion. Like you can actually use Kiribachi with a decent amount of builds. And in my last tier list, a lot of people got on me about that for not giving Kiribachi the credit it deserves, because I mean it's actually not a bad weapon now. So same with Bicento. I mean, last tier list Bicento I'm pretty sure was only in like C tier. People got mad at me for that. With the damage buff on heavy weapons like that, Bicento damage is actually kind of crazy. Not to mention Bicento doesn't have bad moves either. They're definitely not bad. The Bicento moves are decent, so that's kind of why I place it where I place it. Flowers. I mean, flowers are flowers. Flowers are just a really combo-oriented weapon. Like, you could really pair flowers with anything and it'll have some use. So that's kind of where I placed it. Flowers are good no matter what. Like you could probably find a way to use flowers in every build just because of flower charm, where you know it stuns after the 5 M1s. True combo, by the way, 5 M1s in the flower charm. So no matter how you look at it, flowers are solid. Candy cane, Candy cane didn't get higher because even though Candy cane is my favorite weapon in the game, you gotta admit it's not like all that great. Like the moves are not all that good. Like Flash Freeze, it is good, but ever since like Afro Dash nerf, Dragon 1 nerf, it's like it's kind of actually hard to land Flash Freeze, and Flash Freeze is like one of the easiest moves to parry and not parry. Play too much deep open. PB, it's one of the easiest moves to PB in the game. So yeah, that's kind of why I placed it where I placed it. Candy Cane A is good, but it just gets outshined by, you know, the weapons in A and S tier, in my opinion. But like, A, that's just my opinion alone. Crab Cutlass. You know, my last tier list, my last weapon tier list I made, it was like at the beginning of update 4. I had Crab Cutlass at like literally top tier, like S tier, highest tier. And how it has fallen. Now it has not fallen much, but ever since the nerf, it did get a little gutted. I'm not gonna lie to you. The damage is just non-existent now. Also, I'm pretty sure up tilt into Crab Lunge is no longer true, but the weapon is still not bad. It's not a bad weapon. I would still say this is good for some builds, but it's just such a fall from grace. So that's kind of why I placed it where I placed it. So yep, that's ending B tier. I kind of felt a little confident about B tier. Like most of the stuff I placed in there, I feel like it's reasonable. So yeah, coming into A tier. A tier is unordered, by the way. Also, pretty much most of these brackets are unordered. Like I kind of just want to place them where I feel like they deserve to be placed, but it comes a little harder when you like order it. Try to say like one specifically better than the other. So that's why I don't really order it. I kind of just place them in their respective lists and keep it at that. But coming into A tier, Festival Lancer. In my video where I made saying Festival Lancer was broken, a lot of people disagreed, bro. A lot of people surprisingly disagreed. I personally think Festival Lancer is a pretty good weapon, bro. Like Frost Wall, you can literally pair up Frost Wall with Festival Crash and get like start a whole combo because you smack them into the wall and it stuns them again. Honestly, I think the weapon's pretty good. Now, here's the thing. The weapon's buggy right now. M1s sometimes just randomly don't work, but the weapon itself I do feel is pretty good. Now once they fix these bugs and stuff, then you guys will maybe start to notice. But I can say right now, like a lot of people also agree with me that this weapon is pretty good. You guys don't have to, obviously. Opinions are opinions for a reason. But after playing with the weapon for a bit, I can say the weapon, you can definitely do some busted stuff with Festival Lancer. I mean, like, look at it. It literally gives you a portable wall everywhere. It's meaning like you'll be able to wall combo wherever you want. Kind of similar to if you had Bomu, you do bomb plays. You could use Frost Wall to do like wall plays, start a wall combo type stuff. Elo Hammer is in A tier because after the Universal M1, you know, damage change, everyone and their mom does Elo Hammer M1 damage builds. They'll put all their points to sword and they'll end up doing like 60 plus per tick with Pound Festival. It's crazy. Like this weapon is like crazy right now, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like if you use Elo Hammer and use a bunch of sword, one up tilt into Pound Festival is just doing a crazy amount of damage. Now pair that up with something like Marrow, oh my god, it is actually crazy. So that's why I placed Elo Hammer where I placed it. It pairs together with like Elo Hammer, in my opinion, wasn't as good before because of the damage scaling. You could put like 500 points in Elo Hammer before the M1 damage like change, and you'd only be dealing like 30 something M1s. So I feel like with the M1 damage change, the moves are a lot better now because they do a lot better damage. The scaling's a lot better, as well as the M1 damage overall. It's pretty good. So yeah, that's kind of where I placed that. Hollow's Fang, this one might be a little controversial because a lot of people think Hollow's Fang is bad. A lot of people think it's bad, bro. And in my opinion, I think it's a really fun and a really good weapon, but it takes a little skill. It takes a little skill. But the way the moves are, like it just allows you to do so much as far as combos. If you're big braid enough, you can do some crazy stuff with Hollow's Fang. Like I've seen Suki like literally just go crazy with Hollow's Fang, bro. Like the amount of stuff you can do with it is actually kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now the last one in A tier, you guys may be surprised by this. It's ball or head of ball or whatever. And the reason this even made it this far is because, again, this is technically a weapon, but head of ball is actually kind of crazy. Not only has one move, it's like a fear move, like, but there's a true combo you can do with head of ball. You do up tilt head of ball, and then you do the little stun move, and it just literally allows you to get a free M1 combo again. So honestly, I think it's pretty good. Like if you have head of ball, it's literally basically just free combos, boys. Like no cap. Up tilt into head of ball move, literally just a free extra M1 combo. So that's why I place it where I place it. So yeah, wrapping up A tier and coming into S tier. I feel like it's pretty obvious what's in S tier right now, but obviously here it is. Again, these are unordered. I feel like these are, in my opinion, the best weapons in the game right now. Trident, this may come as a surprise, but Trident has always just remained like a weapon that you can use with literally any build. Like Trident pairs together so well with everything, I'm not gonna lie to you. And if you're skilled, like if you're good at the game, it's crazy. Trident just allows you to do a lot of things, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like it has one of the fastest M1 speed in the game. It still has pretty decent M1 damage. So the scaling, even after the M1 damage change, Trident isn't doing bad damage by any means. So yeah, Kraken Greatsword. I mean, we all know Kraken Greatsword is just a busted weapon. Both of the moves are really good. Literally, you can do 5 M1s up tilt into the Slayer Cross Slash. If you pair together Kraken Greatsword with like something like Suna or Marrow, it's even crazier. I'm not gonna lie to you. Stun base, anything stun base with Kraken Greatsword is going crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, don't sleep on this weapon. I think we all know this. Do not sleep on Kraken Greatsword, bro. And then the last weapon, obviously, Jester Scythe. I mean, this is just a really good weapon. Literally crazy combos. I think we all knew this by now. Like, Jester Scythe is just actually crazy, boys. So yeah, that's the complete weapon tier list. Hopefully y'all boys enjoyed this video. Again, don't hate me, you know, if I put your favorite weapon lower than it should have been. This is all just based on my opinion and my experience. Obviously, you guys' opinion and your experience may be different. So it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. Don't get too upset about that over in the comments below. But yeah, hopefully y'all boys are having a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.